was like, "Are we recording?"
No, it was hovering on it, and I thought I had pressed it.
Oh, okay.
Listen, we did a whole interview, and I forgot to hit the record button.
Well, the first time
my God.
the first time we talked to Brian Alexander Morgan, 30 minutes in, I was recording, and I was like, I felt I was mortified. But Brian was like, "Oh, that's cool, start over." But then he like cracked. If you watch the episode, he cracked little jokes about it. He like,
oh, okay.
He threw a little jab.
That's what's up.
But he's like, "It's okay. Good thing he just let her talk, so it ain't bad to hear."
Right.
But we didn't I didn't know him yet. JR kind of knew him, but I didn't.
Okay.
That was my first time ever talking to him. So, I ain't famous as JR is. Okay.
Hey.
All right. Hey, y'all, and welcome back to another fan mini episode of Catch That, where we get to know our friends through their favorite R&B songs. I am Naturally Elise, and that's my bro.
JR.
And we are the R&B representatives, and we are super, Lord have mercy. I can't talk. We are super excited. I promise we are. So welcome our guest today, and that is the good brother Bill Betts. Welcome.
Hey. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
Great. Before we jump in anything, how about you tell our viewers a little bit or a lot about yourself?
Again, my name is Bill. I live here in Tampa, Florida. I've been living here for many, many years. I'm a now Tampa resident, I feel. Came here to finish college, and just never left. But to fast forward, I am a co-host of our show called And in This Corner with my brother Barry, one of my frat brothers. And basically we dive into the 90s, 80s, 90s R&B, 80s, 90s movies, TV sitcoms, so forth. So just love it all.
Yes. So how about you tell us what wonderful, wonderful song that you picked to talk with us about today?
Oh, man.
And do you remember, if you remember, the first time hearing it?
The song I picked, when JR hit me, he said one song. I'm going through a million songs. I literally wrote down probably about 15. And I said, okay, this is the one. Nope, delete. Wrote another one, delete. So it's like, you know what? Got one, I stuck to it. So I picked Baby I'm Ready by Levert. First time I heard it, early 90s, obviously. I believe it dropped in 1991. Yeah, it was 1991. And I can't remember exactly where I heard it the first time, but I remember hearing it with one of my older cousins. So that song resonated from that day forward on to today. So I still listen to it as if it was just dropped.
Gotcha. And yeah, I'm gonna be a stickler. It actually was 1990, but it was the very end of the year. It's November.
Okay. All right.
Because I don't want nobody getting out here. Well, he said.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Right.
1991.
Yeah. You good. I just know how people is. Okay. So do you remember the first time you heard it?
Yes. So I remember hearing it on Kiss FM, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was doing the Quiet Storm. Had to be, because that's the only time I get to listen to Quiet Storm was when I was up with the family on the weekend. So it had to be during the week. And I just remember hearing it, and I just remember it was like, God, Gerald sound like his father. like that's like it was just like, because I'm a big fan of OJ's is my favorite group, and obviously that's his daddy. But I was just like, God, he sounds like his father on this. Like he was giving me, let me make love by the OJ's, like that, begging, like that. I'm begging, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm begging you, girl. Like, I want you. Like, I done messed up and I done did all of this, you know what I mean? So it was like that. And then I love, Sean and Mark's harmonies behind him. You know what I'm saying? Like they sounded really good, and people sleep on Mark's harmony for real, for real. Like everybody go on Sean and Gerald, but Mark is nothing to be played with either.
They don't even give Sean his props because see,
and don't.
Sean was just as amazing singer, but he wasn't a dramatic singer. He wasn't that huge singer, but he had a beautiful voice. And so I think a lot of people think, oh, it's just Gerald carrying the group. No, because them songs wouldn't be the complete work that they are without those harmonies.
Yeah, I remember
especially on the bridges.
When we did an episode, and I remember Elise was saying Sean was the one that was able, when they would do live performances, Sean was kind of able to bring Gerald in. Because you know Gerald gonna go there and go all the way there and just be dramatic and run all over the stage and do all that. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Sean was able to kind of be like, all right, I know you going, but come on a little, let me bring you back a little bit. Let me reel you in. You know what I'm saying? So, but this song again, I just love it lyrically too, because it's like he said, I can't keep treating you like I treat the rest. Like,
come on,
people need to listen to that. Like, for real, like, listen to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Gerald was really talking to somebody on this. And I'm going to swing it to that one because we all know who he was talking about on this record. But go ahead. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Right. Because her album came out the year before theirs. So he was responding to that Love Under New Management.
Run around town, so many girls couldn't name.
Listen, what's funny is that when I listen to Love Under New Management, I listen to Baby I'm Ready. Yep. I listen to both of them back to back. Like if I listen to one, I have to go and listen to the other one. And I think for me, whenever if I just close my eyes and I listen at the song and I just picture where I am, I automatically picture something with the 90s. I like it that if you want to hear a prototypical, if someone says, play me a song from the early, like late 80s, early 90s, play me a song, that song is the one to play. Because it gives you that early 90s, late 80s sound. It gives you we have the vocals, we have the lyrics, we have the production, because Mark is crazy on production. We already know the pen game with Gerald, and you know, like you said, Sean is probably the glue that holds everything together. So when you put all three of those three together, it's gonna come out to one of the, like a cornucopia of a song that's a great song that probably gets overlooked, but that's probably for me, that's one of the greatest R&B songs that I love to hear.
It was actually like one of the last ones before the music switched. Because I was looking at the charts during that time, and I saw that this is actually Levert's last like #1 R&B song. You know what I mean? But this is a time like we was talking about in another episode when Elise was like, yo, our songs would be like #1 on our charts, would be like number 60 and 70 on pop. But our songs was #1 for real. So for me, this song was kind of the last before everything switched. Cause I know it was released in 91 and it came out in like May of 91. So this is the last time we're gonna get before we got the Jodeci and the Boys the Men and the this. It was this type of style of singing. It was just straight flat foot to the gut type of singing. It was no more of having a swag to it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. And they were kind of the last ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, them and Luther and this and this. It was like after that, it was like everything started to change. It started slow jams and ballads and things like that. But this song here, this song needed to be, I know they had to cut Gerald off. Because he could have went for another 2 minutes if you let him. Somebody on the comments was like, I could imagine, like, they say he was kind of like a Teddy P. You know how Teddy P eventually Gamble and Huff was like, all right, enough. Okay, enough. All right, enough. Pull the mic away from him. If you would have let Gerald was like, Mickey, I'm sorry, baby. I'm ready.
His song is already, what, 5 minutes or a little over 5 minutes? And that's, so like you said, if they would have extended and just let him go, it would at least been 7.
That'd have been the 12-inch.
It would have easily been 7.
Yes.
Because he probably would have started talking and
right.
He had a part he could talk like what's my Orange Juice Jones did on his song.
Oh God.
Well, shit, he could have talked like Mickey. Shit, Mickey talked for like a minute and a half on Love Under New Management.
Yeah, she got listen. And this was it. And I like that. Like, this is what I like about what they used to do back then. Like, just a little part. And you see, he said, so many girls I can't even name. So it was like, Mickey probably was like, ooh, he was listening to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That was her ad-libs. Because I don't think she wrote the record, if I'm not mistaken. She didn't write Love Under New Management, right?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think she wrote that. She might have. Hold on.
And you know what? That's now that you say that, JR, that makes me now want to go back and listen to that Love.
No, she didn't. Okay.
That makes me want to go back and listen to that Love Under New Management to see if he took if he really did take something from I Hear You, or maybe a conversation they had. I hear you, I understand, but I'm gonna put it inside this song to let you really know.
Yeah, because it was just like she was like telling him, "You got so many girls I can't even name," and he said, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna use that line in this record then." Like, it's like, okay, that was kind of them responding to each other, and I think that's just so dope to me. You know what I mean? And it's just, I definitely would have wanted another duet with them two, for real, but a ballad, because they was even on their what's their song called that they did together? They up tempo.
Like Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
That's what love is.
That's what love is. Yeah. That's what love is. Thank you. That I would have wanted a ballad, because you can even see them getting really dramatic on a record like that.
Yes.
She just screaming, and here go Red Jeremy. Yeah, like he like, all right, we gonna do this? Cool. So I would have loved like a duet with them two actually after Love Under New Management, Baby I'm Ready. And then they could have kind of put it together.
We're together.
And what's so funny is Gerald and Mark produced half of Love Under New Management album. not the song, but half of the album. And wrote a couple songs. And Gerald wrote a couple songs as well.
But see, that tells you, like, again, when we hear about Gerald Levert, we always hear about the singing. We don't hear about the writing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We don't hear about the writing and producing. But those guys are, man, they are super talented. And unfortunately, his early death, we weren't able to give him all of his flowers that he should have.
I agree.
But they gave us some hits. And this one,
Oh yes. Like, when it comes to Levert, I think a lot of people, but that's just what it is. A lot of people just go for the hits. It's them album cuts that y'all need to check. Like when I what was it, at least, that I posted on my Instagram, and they was just at like a radio station, and they were just singing. And they were singing a song. I forgot what song it was. It might have been off of was it on Bloodline? Because Bloodline got Pop, Pop, Pop on it.
Pop, 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 pop.
They were singing Let's Go Out Tonight.
Okay.
And they did that on this like radio station or whatever. And they just did it on a drop of a dime. And just to see like vocally, they were nothing to play with. You know what I'm saying? And that was the first time, because to be honest with you, I'm kind of like everybody else. before I really got into this line of notes and things like that. I was like, oh yeah, that's Gerald and that's Sean. And I was like, oh, Mark did a little yin 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 around the house. That's what I thought, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So when I really started getting into them, I was like, wait a minute, Mark ain't nothing to play with, like at all. So when I was
No.
seeing a lot of live performances of theirs, I was like, oh, he just shut me right on up because I
Yeah.
was like, oh, snap,
Yeah.
like he really can go for real. And him and Gerald's writing was just magic for real. Like, just magic. It was just like, yo, you could tell like they just had a chemistry for real. And they good at some bridges. Cause you said like bro, like you said with this record, this bridge, I love the way Gerald and Mark wrote bridges because what they did with Anita, whatever it takes, and they got to that bridge there with Anita, and it sounds, and I like because it sounds like them. They have a certain sound. Like at least when we talked about Home Again, and we talked about how Gerald did How You Have Your Love, Sir.
And that's my favorite song.
Yes. And it sounds like Gerald. Like anything that Gerald wrote, the way they sing it.
And the way, especially the way like the way that Johnny ad-libbing and stuff on there is so Gerald.
Yes.
But but I mean, they work together. They're very similar minded singers, and powerful and dramatic and
and
they're gonna sing. I mean, I was just thinking about even like So Alone from Men at Large.
Men at Large,
yeah.
Gerald is wrote. He's writing it. But again, you get the verse, the chord, and they're giving it to guys who can sing.
Yeah. I miss your mama. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh my God. The 90s was, oh my God, the 90s. I wish we could get back to the 90s.
The Nehu era, yeah.
Right, just get back to the feeling of guys just flat-foot singing and that's it. You know what I mean? I think that's what it is. I think now everybody want to have a style to the singing, and that's what I feel like the art of singing has been lost because it's like now I want to have swag, and I feel like dudes don't want to seem too soft.
Yeah.
If y'all listening to Gerald on this, he like, look, I done messed up, y'all. I want my girl back. I'm ready. I got all these girls, but I got the right one. And I need to get to her, and I need to tell her I'm sorry. And baby, I'm ready to do this. And I done choose the wrong girls. I want to choose you. Love under new management, like that.
He stayed in the doghouse though. His mind went pop every time he thought about him doing people wrong and stuff.
Something wrong with you.
See, just again, it's funny because when you got your three members, and although all separate bring something separately, but again, when you combine them together, they form a superpower that gives you some of the greatest songs that we all know and love. Like you said, not only just the hits, but also the album cuts. And once you start going into the album cuts, for me, they become hits.
Well, we album cut people here.
Yeah. Album cuts become hits.
Usually.
Yeah. I mean, to us, we talked about that about Usher. Like some of those album cuts became
hits for us. Yes. Like we played them.
They end up becoming hits.
Now, now y'all know we can build people up on this show, but we also got to give them a little bit of fever too. Now, y'all, what was up with that cover of theirs?
Oh yeah.
Now, what was up with that cover? Rope-a-dope, but the title of it alone, Rope-a-dope Style.
You know, 90s New Jack.
That was that was 90s slang.
Yeah, it was a short-lived slang.
Like I was good with them just cooling because that was the album before that. So
That's
I
my
was
rope
good with
dope
that. I'm
style.
like, okay, good. I can rock with
Yeah.
that. But rope dope style for
My
them.
rope dope style. My rope
Right,
dope style.
right. Like, yeah, that was a figure, a speech of what we say. You know what I'm saying? That was slang. But for
I think
them,
about it, it's old school slang because that's like Muhammad Ali's slang.
Rope dope.
Rope-a-dope, it's a
Yeah.
boxing slang.
yeah, rope
Mhm.
dope. Yeah. So I'm like, and then I ain't mad with the colors because in the 90s it was very
That's
bright.
90s.
It
Yeah,
was
bright
very
color.
bright.
Yep.
So it was
Yep.
what it was. But
Yep.
I was like, y'all, and I mean,
And those even looking at the title, the colors with yellow and pink or whatever canary or whatever.
Hey, like father, like son.
huh, huh. You ain't had to do that. No, you dirty for that.
Oh
Oh,
man.
you dirty for that. You
It
dirty.
matched my outfit though.
Oh, that's terrible, yo. I think that's this is that, honestly.
That's their
Yeah,
that.
That's
no.
that. Because I like the 93 album, to be honest with you, a
Mm-hmm.
little more than I did this one. Because like you said, all seasons, and baby, I'm ready. I'm good. I'm good with those. I'm good
Yeah.
with those on this album. But other than that, you could tell the first song, I said, oh God. And Elise said a lot of our artists tried to do that New Jack, and it just was not right. Like they
Mm-hmm.
needed, again, like how they got with the Calloway brothers and they did Casanova. Stuff like that. That's fine. You know what I mean? But for vocalists like them, because all three of them are vocalists, to be honest, they
Mm-hmm.
needed not New Jack to me. You know what I'm saying? And you could tell he understood that when he did his album Private Line.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't, it still had that bounce to it, but it wasn't completely New Jack for real.
Yeah.
You know
In
what
my
Yeah.
I'm saying?
background saying, in my background saying.
You
Sorry.
know, we were fortunate enough to interview Mark. Um
Ooh.
yeah,
What?
we were fortunate to interview Mark and just talking and how he was saying at the beginning they weren't really getting their production credits
I believe it.
early on. But
Oh,
then,
I believe it.
as I think he said the Just Coolin' album. I think that's when they started getting it. I think if I'm not mistaken, I don't, want to misspeak. But yeah, he said they didn't get it early, but then they started getting it, later. But I mean, just to pick these guys' brains and y'all know it, just I mean, interviews can last for hours upon hours because it's so much you want to know. Like when y'all was recording, baby, I'm ready. I need you talk to me from the beginning to end. Tell me. I need to know
Right.
because it's my favorite song. I
Right.
need to know.
Right.
Like, what was your mind? Like, I mean, I ain't asking, certain things, but what was your mind when you guys produce? Like, how did you come up with the track? Like, what did you hear to make that?
Mm-hmm.
What did he hear upon hearing what you made, or what did you hear upon what he was saying to put it together? And then Sean, what did you? Okay, now it's so much that when when you interview these people, these artists, you learn so much, and you just sit back in awe, like, God, that's
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And then
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking of a thought. I meant to say it when you were talking about like the male singers of today as opposed to then.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a trend of like all it seems like all the male singers now are like super nasally, and nasally don't mean bad,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like nasally and thin. Like I
Mhm.
think that like Tevin and Rasan have a nasal voice. That's just a descriptor. Doesn't mean bad. It's just a style. But their voices aren't thin, so it comes
Mm-hmm.
across differently. And
Mhm.
and it seems like everyone now is that nasally, and it's not a breakup of it. So they all sounds like the same. And the production
Mm-hmm.
isn't really innovative either. So then there's further no distinction. And I think that's the issue because it's a lot of the songs I get. I'm like, oh, I mean, it's decent, but then I hear 20 more that sound just like it, and then I'm just like, ugh.
It's just the problem that I think that back then artistry was completely different because I think everybody was like, Levert went in was like, okay, we want to have our own style. When y'all hear us, y'all gonna hear our style. Even if we're working with other artists, I mean, or other producers or something like that. Like, even though, like I was saying, even though they didn't produce Casanova, but it sounded like a Levert record. You know what I mean? Their
Okay, I see what you're
artistry was
saying.
still in it. Now I feel like now with the powers that be, I feel like they want to say, "Oh, that worked, do that. That worked, do that." Even though back then they did do that, but a lot of our artists fought against it. They was like, "No, I don't want to sound like that. I want to sound like this, or I want to sound like this, or I want to sound like this." Or they'd be like, "Well, work with this producer." No, no, that's theirs. I want, let's get somebody that's hungry and let's create this sound. Now it's like, no, you need to work with D-Mal. You need to work with this. You need to work with this. And everybody sound the same. So there's no creativity anymore. Like, we got a lot of people that still is, and like you said, Elise, it's, yeah, you hear a song, you be like, all right, I like
It's
it.
cool. Yeah.
But then you hear like five, right, cool. And you hear like five other songs that's just like it. You like, okay, we saw you was really inspired by this song, so you just redid it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of that, like, Baby I'm Ready did not sound like anything else. You know what I mean? It sounded like a bad, but you had other. This Baby I'm Ready didn't sound anything about what Luther did on The Power of Love in 91. You know
No.
what I'm saying? Like, it didn't. It didn't sound like anybody else that was out then. Any males or any groups or anything like that. Because I'm Ready didn't sound anything like what God did on Future. Like, it didn't sound like any of that. You know what I mean? And that's what made this song so great. And that's why it was a #1 record. You know what I mean? Because it just how good and just flat foot singing Jared was doing. And I feel like a lot of that we're missing now. And the powers that be really could push that if they wanted to, but they're pushing what's making them money. And it's the, like you said, sis, it's the nasally that's very thin. You know what I mean? Like, it has depth and weight to it. You know
I'm
what I'm saying?
glad y'all saying it. I'm glad y'all was saying it because I agree wholeheartedly with what both of you are saying. It's like they sing talk, but in like a falsetto. There's no more just singing. Like,
Yeah. But
I don't think I could take any of those singers that I personally hear and say, okay, here come a church song, go sing it in church.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't think I'm gonna hear that, but I know Luther can, I know Gerald can, I know Aaron Hall can, I know all these I know KC can, I know Jazz can, I can keep going down the line. We know these people can sing these songs.
Yeah.
But today, like you said, it's just nasally and there's no bridges, there's no, like, you can't distinguish. I'm sorry, I just don't listen to it.
some of the songs
I'm
don't
just
even have
saying
a
I don't listen to
chorus.
it.
It's
There's no
weird.
chorus.
None.
No.
Weird.
No chorus. None.
Like, I mean, it's called a hook for a reason, to hook my ass in. Why it's called a hook? You know what I'm saying?
Imagine Baby I'm Ready with no bridge and the hook and his last little part where he's going off and
Gerald didn't get the show out? Oh, no.
I
That ain't
refuse
a
to imagine
song.
that. How dare you? No, I was kidding.
But that's where I think, when I think about, for me, when I think about the bridge, and I always keep talking about it, that's where, for me, the emotions come in at. I think that's where I'm able to now put your emotions and whatever you really want to say, go ahead and put it right in this little area. Now just go.
Right.
Go.
Yeah. Now we ain't got no bridge, just troubled waters.
Oh my God.
That's
why they need people like
for a good
us.
time to say that.
Yeah.
That's why they need us to
They do.
continue to push these artists and their music. No, they need us.
Yes, because like you said, with a bridge too, that's when you can tell when a singer can really sing. Because even if you didn't write the bridge, this is when your ad libs and runs and all that's gonna come in. So you're really gonna show me.
That's when you're really supposed to do it. Because even for Gerald, he had a good control throughout song. For Gerald, and then the bridge, and then that end ad-lib, that's when he really going off. But he's giving you control for Gerald in that song.
Right.
And
And
I'm
it was
okay
like,
with that.
yeah,
Just like everyone else. And that follows the greats. You know, you think of, like I say all the time, about Freddie Jackson or about Luther, like, they ain't get to you all the time. Well, they might do one little intro, like 10 seconds, and you're like, what you doing that for? Why you trying to show off? I like it though.
Yeah.
But you're not going, it's a build up, I guess is what I'm talking about. You know?
You
can't
know,
you can't just go crescendo. No, you gotta build up, man. You know?
Right.
I think one of my favorite songs that has I think probably my favorite bridge on it is "Doing Just Fine," Boys to Men.
Oh Lord,
And
with Chastity.
Sean.
Oof, I do love that bridge.
When
Yes.
Sean and Nate,
I love that song.
they're doing their thing and they're getting ready to take you on a little ride. And once that bridge come, and here he comes to come and just, okay, I'm gonna go home and take it on home. Like the first two, they done drove the first 10 hours together. I drive the last 5 hours home. Because you felt even with the music, because Sean produced it, you can tell it was starting to go up as the song went on. And then you knew, okay, somewhere Wanya is getting ready to come on this song and tear this song up, which that's what he did. So that's the same thing with like Baby I'm Ready. You know, like you said, Gerald he was contained for Gerald.
That's a good word, contained.
He was contained. But you knew because of the song and once that breakdown happened, what's All My Love is all my kisses belong to you. So once that came, you knew it was getting ready to happen because you can hear it.
It was the build up. The build up. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And then they come in with baby, like, yes, like you come out of it, and then this song wouldn't have been what it was if them guys did not come behind him with them harmonies. You needed that because Gerald is giving you all of the heat. You needed something sweet under it. You know what I'm saying? Like you needed that sweetness under it to give this song this structure of it what it is.
Talk.
Yeah, you need that juxtaposition. You need,
Y'all talking right now. Y'all are talking right now. Y'all talking right now. Y'all done got me. On repeat.
Because it's like Gerald he's dramatic. He's that dramatic singer. That's just what he is. It's like Gerald, he's a storyteller vocally because he's starting you off, he's telling you like this. Then this second verse, we coming up a little bit. Then we come to the bridge and it's a wrap. So it's like he going at you, and you needed Sean and you needed Mark to give it that sweetness while he's going in and losing it.
They're still holding it down. They're holding
that bottom down, so you get to hear it. Cause Gerald up here now, he up here. He like, Mickey, you gonna hear me now. Like you didn't hear me then, but you gonna hear me now. Like I'm up here, and the guys are just here. Just cruising while they, you know what I'm saying? While he's just going off, they like, we got you, brother. Just go ahead, and we gonna be sweet at the bottom.
You know what? I liken it to Stairway to Heaven with his daddy.
Yes.
Think about Stairway to Heaven. Think about his daddy. You know when his daddy coming in, just let him go. The rest, everybody else we'll hold the song down. But just go ahead and go off because we know what you're getting ready to do.
Yeah. A church revival for real. That's what
OJ songs, like Walter Who's voice is super strong, but he's like kind of getting you ready and giving you some control because your boy ain't gonna do it.
No.
He's not.
Oh,
now, he's an exception. He gonna start the song off wild and will, and I love it. But he can do that. Everybody can't do that.
Right.
He can do that.
And then that's what for me. And you, huh?
I said he do whatever he want. Them people last name Levert, they all right.
They got it. They got it, honestly. They got it honestly, you know.
Yes.
They got it honestly.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why I was kind of nervous with them when they did the Baby Hold On to Me when I heard back then. that they were gonna do a song together, I was like, oh Lord. I was like, oh Lord, what is it gonna be? Like, you
Yeah,
got two dramatic singers on it, but they did great with it. You know what I mean?
They
It
did.
was just,
for that song,
yeah.
they must have had somebody that Sean must have been in the room or somebody to get them
Somebody had
to
to
be
be
together.
somebody had to be in the room. Hey.
Because when they would perform that live,
Like when
no,
they did on the Apollo, yes.
that was
Yeah, yeah.
wild
Yeah, oh yeah.
from the
Yeah.
top. I'm like, y'all
Yeah.
don't even sing it like that on the back. What is y'all doing? That
Yeah.
was a wild performance.
Or
I mean, I was here for it, but it was wild.
or Arsenio Hall. Yeah, they went in. Yeah.
Ooh, that was,
Yes.
I seen that live.
I did. I wish they would have, because I was trying to also find some live stuff for Baby I'm Ready, and I wasn't finding too many. I wonder why. Because I mean, this was the last single from the album, wasn't it? If I'm not mistaken. So I guess they probably would.
I think, yeah.
So I guess they were probably getting ready for Gerald, to be honest with you, to
They
come out with
probably,
his
yeah.
album. So it was like, all right, we gave it enough. But I would have loved to see them do this live. For real. Like, I'd have loved to.
And yes, it was the last single. It's Rope It Up Style,
Okay.
Give a Little Love, All Season, and then Baby I'm Ready.
Okay. Well, they ended it on the right note, because this song is it.
It's one. It's that
saying?
one.
Yes. Yeah,
So
that's what
it's so 90s too. It's so 90s.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It is the epitome of a 90s song.
Yes.
It's a song. It's a very little part, and I don't know why it just amuses me. Where they just like kind of like distorting the record a little bit, and I wonder why. I wonder if they did it. I don't know, make it sound cool, or if it was like something messed up, but they didn't want to throw everything out. When they're like, I can't do it. But it's that one little part.
If it felt natural.
But then now that I'm thinking about it, I think that's where they ended the song on the radio. But I don't know. So maybe I don't know.
Oh, they could have had a radio edit.
Because they weren't playing no 5-minute during the day. Quiet Storm, they played the whole thing.
Oh, you know,
Quiet Storm very rarely played like the shortened versions of songs.
Yeah, they definitely have to play the longer versions.
They got to get talking and all that. They
Quiet Storm.
They used to play 8 and 9 minute songs, baby.
Oh, I'm looking at it now. The single version was 4 minutes and 10 seconds. It was 4 minutes, and this song is damn near 6 minutes.
Yeah, it definitely sing about 6 minutes.
It's like 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Like, nah, son, you cutting out a whole minute of this Gerald just going in.
Yeah,
you can't do that. No, not with this. I don't need no cut. That's why I don't be liking some radio edits and shit, because it takes out stuff of the song that you like.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it's like,
sometimes they take out the best part, or they
make
the radio edit and they change the beat and.
We need this just song. I don't care. Just give me a 6-minute slot so I can play this song. Something. I need this song. I need the entire song. Don't break nothing up. Give me this whole thing.
It's that part.
Yeah.
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 I think we broke it down.
I think so.
We did. I think we did. Oh yes.
I think so.
I just don't want to stop talking to this brother, but
yes. I knew it. I was like, yo, with him. That's why I was like, he was like, oh, yo, you just saying one song. I said, you can come back as many times as you want. And then now,
we'll come back.
We gotta get an album with them. We gotta get an album.
We gonna do an album?
Yeah, you gotta pick an album, yo.
I got. Okay.
You threw this for a loop, because when Elise was like, "Did you see what he picked?" I was like, "No." She was like, "Go look." I was like, "Oh snap!" I was like, oh. And she said, "You know what I'm gonna do on this."
And I had just listened at the song, so because I told you I was trying to go through. I didn't know we could get the other guys who's currently. I don't. Everybody's not listening to his music and everything, so I didn't know. So
Yeah, nah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
got
So
you. No.
okay.
Nah, we good.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Yeah, we good. Nah, we
'Cause-
good. But nah, this was a great pick because nobody picked
Great.
Levert at
Yeah.
all. Nobody has
Okay,
picked
Not
good.
no
Levert.
Levert, not no Gerald.
No Gerald, no Levert.
Wow.
Hell, ain't nobody even pick an OJ song.
But we
We did
did
an
with
OJ's
OJ's album.
album,
Yeah.
Album?
but ain't
Okay.
nobody picked an
But not
OJ
the song.
song. No,
Mm-mm.
nobody chose an OJ
Mm.
song at all.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
So,
Mm.
you know, so
All right. Well, I sure appreciate y'all having me on. I love it.
Oh,
I
listen,
love it.
you coming back? That's fine.
yeah.
All right.
You seriously?
Hey. Hey.
So how about you tell us how people can find you or your show and all that good stuff?
You can find us on YouTube. Just type in "and in this corner," and you'll see all of our uploaded videos. Like I said, anything from interviews, or we have our own little spin twist, and we'll bring y'all on for our stuff too. One of our favorite ones, we had Chastity on one of our episodes we call "Who Did It Better."
Who did it
So,
better?
who
It
did
was
it better?
good.
So you got your original, you got your cover. Who did it better?
Yes.
And we go through, but you have to. You just we have parameters.
You gotta show your work.
Yes.
Yeah, we
I
got
was sitting
parameters.
there
Yeah,
was like, yo, they got parameters
we
for
got
real.
parameters.
Like I'm like,
I like
Yeah.
that. I like that.
Yeah, so we got we do
They over
that
there
or
shine, reining people in. Like, no,
yes,
yes.
yes, yeah. We go bring you back in. Let's stay in these parameters. But we do we just try to have fun and do things differently, some off the wall kind of things. But we just have fun. We just we both love music. We just we love music, and we just having fun. But you can find us on YouTube, like I said, and in this corner. Um, Also, we're on Instagram and in this corner one. That's the number one, and in this corner one. Same thing with TikTok. And what else? Facebook and in this corner, and Twitter and in this corner. Um, yeah, and in the corner.
all
That's
right.
it.
And in this
Yeah.
corner, folks.
And in this corner.
Mhm.
And in this corner.
And that's how we that's how we came up
That's
with
how
it.
they do it.
That's
Yep.
exactly how we came up with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how we came up with it.
I'm gonna put my rope-a-dope style on JR.
Oh God, here we go.
Hey,
Well,
I'm
you
ready,
know what? You
baby.
ready? Okay, we got something. I just
You're
thought of
so
something.
sick of me
So
right now.
we got you.
Okay.
We got you. I just thought about something. So
Oh, okay.
I just thought about something.
Listen.
So y'all,
Ooh,
we'll be in touch.
Oh no.
I'm
We'll be in
excited now.
touch.
Yes.
We'll be in
For this.
touch.
Yes.
Like, baby, I am ready for real. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll be
Yeah.
in touch.
Okay. But we thank you, brother, and we also thank all of our viewers. Thanks for tuning in, especially the live chat, gang, cousin gang.
Yeah.
Family atmosphere, bring us some more. Well, your cousin family, but they still your family.
Yeah, we love them.
So bring us some more cousins. And yeah. Like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. Y'all know what to do. And we will catch y'all on the next Catch That. Peace.
Peace.
Ooh, ooh. Hey y'all, and welcome back to another fan mini episode of Catch That, where we get to know our friends through their favorite R&B songs. I am Ashley Lee, and that's my bro,
JR.
and we are the R&B representatives, and we are welcoming back one of JR's fellow Nick fans back to the show. And so glad to see him, and that is Kelv. What up?
What's up, everybody? How you guys
Yeah.
doing? Good to be back. JR Lee, it's good to be here. Always a pleasure.
Yes.
So, for folks who may have missed you last time, just tell folks a little bit or a lot about yourself.
I'm a Nick fan. Orange and Blue Skies, Queens, New York. I love R&B. I love music. as the OJ say. So,
Oh, come on. He already starting early. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
OJ, I
long
know
as
that's
it's
your group, so
grooving, as long as it's grooving, he into it,
that's it. That's
Yes.
it.
But Mr. Love Music, how about you tell everybody what song you picked to talk about today, and if you remember hearing it for the first time?
That's a good. That's stomach that. Okay, so Tavares is a song picked at the group, R&B group, 70s, mainly the 70s as they run. The song is Never Had a Love Like This Before. And the first time I heard this song was probably like 1980. I used to roller skate a lot as a kid. And in New York, we had like 1,000 roller skating rinks. Empire in Brooklyn, um, Skate Key in the Bronx, Roller Castle in Queens, Laces in Long Island. So these songs are kind of heavy played. They had like, you had your up-tempo joints that they would play. And then they have like, couples play and stuff like that. So this would play during the couples play a lot, so couple skate. And but I'm a kid and stuff. I am, no girl and stuff like that. So and but I love the song. I was like, man, this is it was, it wasn't slow. They would play the slow joints too, of course, but it wasn't slow. It was like mid-tempo type song. But I just love the groove of it. And just the diversity of the singers. It's like 4 different and learning later they're all brothers. Hearing them sing and hearing them come in and stuff, like, oh man, they're dope. They're really dope. Then I heard a couple other songs, but that song stood out to me amongst their they've had bigger actually hits than that, but that song just stuck out to me to me the most. That's my favorite song that they have. Yeah, it's my favorite song of them.
Nice. When you picked this song and I looked, I was like, oh my God, he's taking me back to when all my family was here. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I just remember when I first heard this song, it was on Saturdays. My grandparents and we would want to go shopping, and I remember my grandfather's commercial van, this green van he had, because he was a commercial driver through the city and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So with us living in Brooklyn, he every Saturday morning, it was like we would get up early. We some early birds. Elise knows that very well when she stayed. So we get up early. Me, mom, my grandmother, my grandfather, and we would really just go to the city. She would go to Ralph's to go shopping. She would go to Ralph's, and we would go across the Brooklyn Bridge or the Manhattan. It really didn't matter.
Absolutely.
But we would play either 1600 WLIB or we would play 88.3 with Felix Hernandez.
Yep, absolutely. Felix Hernandez,
so I think it was him that played it because we were going across the bridge and it just came on. Yeah. And I know them harmonies from somewhere because Tavares harmonies is nothing to play with at all, even with their up tempos too. So I'm like, yo, who is this? Yeah. And then you got 3 different people singing a verse. Right. So I'm like, who is this? So obviously we driving or whatever. And I'm like, I'm not waiting till we get out the car. I'm waiting till I need to know who this is. So my grandmother was like, you know what? I'm going in the rounds. Look, y'all do what y'all want to do.
Too.
My grandfather was like, I'm going to the bar. Don't judge y'all. and then my mom was like, well, I got to stay in because you're too young, so I got to stay in because I'm like, Mom, I want to know who this is. Right. And then it was like Tavares. I was like, wait, what? Because this is so R&B-ish for them.
Good point.
They was put into that disco.
That's true.
Like stuff.
Yes, you're right.
So to hear this was so far removed of what you knew from them. So I was like, Tavares, and my mother was like, okay, whatever. Time to go to the bar. You know what I mean? She was like, look, okay, you got who you want to hear, whatever. Right. So it just brought me back to that space of just listening to, 88.3 in the morning on Saturday mornings and learning music for myself. This is how I really got into it, learning who this is and these harmonies sound familiar and who's this and who's this. So Never Had a Love is so great, and I love this joint down For real, for real. So yeah, that's kind of when the first time I heard
It
it.
took me back. Felix Hernandez. I forgot about him. Man, that's
Oh, he's my
that's a
idol. Like he
throwback.
is my idol. Like my idol. Like ever
Wow.
since I heard him, I was just been a fan. My mom went to went to his rhythm review dances or whatever. They went and he actually filled out because my mom told him how much of a fan I was of him.
Right.
He signed his name on a napkin and my mother gave it to me because I was too young to go. So she gave it to me. It's in the house. My mom has it in the house. And I was just floored. Like, oh my God. Like you told him and she was like, yo, my son really loves you and he's a fan and he's only 13 and da 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 da.
Right.
He was like, oh, not a problem, and filled out the napkin and gave it to me. And I was mad because I wanted to go to them to the party anyway, but I was too young. So, but my mom's like, I brought you back something. Felix Hernandez did an autograph for you. I was like, oh, thanks. So, yes, Felix is like my idol. I like want to be like him because he knows every soul record, everything, every sample, everything. So I'll be trying to be like him, but you know, it is what it is. Sorry, sis. I'm sorry. I'm older. You on mute, sis. You mute.
I said, ooh, JR, I finally took a breath. I can't. I don't remember the first time hearing it, but I am familiar with it. And it's one of them songs for a long time I heard, and I didn't even know who sang it or anything. Because like JR said, it was so far removed from the sound that you knew them for.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so a while back, I went and visited the album that this is on, and it does have a more, well, it's very soulful.
The album is? I never heard the album to be honest with you, so I don't even know.
And but that song, and actually a lot of the songs on that album, they kind of remind me of like Enchantment Is You That I Need, like, and but the up tempo part of the song, the second half, it just puts me in that mind, and that song feels so good to me. And so this it's just, it feels, in this song it feels warm.
It does. That's yes.
It does.
Well, I'll say Enchantment was the other song I was thinking about picking. So it's funny that you mentioned that.
Oh wow.
And it's You That I Need. That's crazy. That's crazy that you said that. It's crazy.
That song goes crazy. That song is canon.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But this album, this came out of year I was born, but this song went to number 5 R&B.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't a number 1.
Which was higher than they had charted in quite a few years though.
Right. Because they wanted, like we were saying, I think they realized, because they're a funk band. Like that's how they started out with. You know what I mean? They were really
funky,
they were a funky band, but once they got put into that, they were, and then once they did, More Than a Woman with Saturday Night Fever, they were just over it, because it was like, yo, y'all looking at us as disco, y'all trying to box us in. So when they did Madam Butterfly, which this album is on, they was like, yo, we want to really remove ourselves. So that's why this album sounds very, like you said, Enchantment, very R&B-ish compared to what they give. You know what I mean? But I mean, if you do listen to this album, it got like, what is it? One Phone Call Away. That's very disco-ish. And then when they started off with Straight From Your Heart, which is disco too. But everything in between that, it's so R&B-ish, and I think they wanted to leave that. But once you kind of get into this box, and that's what everybody want to keep you in, and then obviously the label didn't push it because it was completely different from what they normally did. So like you said, it was a top 5 R&B for us, but it really wasn't a crossover at all. You know what I mean? Even though it could have been, what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
It really could have been.
Yeah.
If they pushed it, but and they
were on Capitol Records.
Yeah.
Capitol, and then they eventually ended up at RCA, I think.
RCA, okay.
Was this album on RCA?
I think this album was on RCA.
So also they didn't know them.
No, they were still on Capitol. They didn't go to RCA till 82.
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
yeah, they could have really pushed this record. But again, this is 78,
I was
right?
gonna say 78, 78.
But that major wasn't gonna support. Now, if they'd have figured out some way to make a pop dancey album, they'd have put more behind that than they were gonna
Yeah,
do behind a,
that's right. Yeah.
because
Agreed.
and it was strong with Blacks, because you see with No Push, it went to number 5
Number 5,
with No
right.
Push, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
with less push, not saying no push, but less than what they used to have.
Right.
Disco records.
It just got yes, and this is 78, so disco is still bumping.
It's bumping,
Like
yeah.
it's still, you know what I
Donna
mean? So the
Summer,
label
right? Yeah, that's the whole.
yes,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
her, and then you got Glory Gaynor coming
Glory
in, and you
Gaynor,
got
right?
Thelma Houston and all of
Oh
them
yeah, Thelma
doing
Houston.
all of
Yeah,
this
yeah,
stuff,
yeah. They
and
got the
these
happening,
hits
right?
are
Yeah,
hitting,
yeah.
and they like, well, wait a minute, y'all was giving us disco records then, why can't y'all give us this now? And they like, well, y'all want to do what you want to do. You know how labels are. Up, you do what you want to do. We're gonna go to the next.
Go to the
Leave
next.
y'all
Yeah.
in the dust. We don't care no more. You know what I mean? Because I'm
Right.
like, but I'm like, y'all, like this record is dope because again, you got Butch coming in with that falsetto in the beginning, like he's singing.
He's singing.
You know what I mean?
Singing.
And then you got Chubby that's coming
Chubby.
in with them soulful joints on the second verse.
Right.
And then Pooh, R.I.P. to him, because he just died a week ago.
Yeah, R.I.P.
He
right.
just died a week ago, which is crazy.
Just crazy.
And he come in and he made that joint count.
Oh, he
made it
tears
count.
Down.
He was like,
down.
I'm singing and I'm going, and he gave it the grit that and their harmonies together is not really discussed, but their harmonies are so intricate and it feels so like Sis said, the song feels good. It's their harmonies to me. I've always liked it.
That's what it is.
And it seems so like you can tell they are brothers. They family, because it works. Like right. I like how they said with the emotions, they was like the emotions, one of the sisters can come out and you can put another in and they still sound the same. These guys are still, it's just like that. It's just like they sound so like that. And I was just like, the hook, man, is just everything. And then come on, y'all know horns and strings on this. Come on. That's why I love the 70s, because the horns will get the love that it deserves. Everybody on a ballad put a horn in there. I don't care where it was, but they put a horn in there.
Yeah. And I think, you know what, it's funny you said, because I think that you have the competition to it. So I think I'm sure artists are looking at it like, oh, Right 25 got horns. On the gang got horns, or Isaac got horns. So it's competitive.
Oh,
so,
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. But that bass line too is knocking in this.
Yes,
Shout out to David Shields, because he played on speaking of the emotions, A Feeling Is on the Rejoice album he played. Okay. Then he played on Cheryl Lynn's joint. He played on many of Patty's, solo debuts in the beginning. I'm just saying, I'm sorry. He's Patty, no. Like, I'm just saying, but that bass line is kicking, man. Like, I'm just musically in the 70s. That's why I love it, because it was like, Elise said it in one of I think it was the Donnie interview. I mean, a Donnie show. And she was like, the musicians just died, man. And it didn't matter. Nobody overdid anything, and everything was just, and with a joint like this, it's still, the bass line still gave it the groove.
It gave
you
it
know
a groove.
What I mean?
Yep, it gave it a groove.
And I know that one love a groove, so that's why I knew. That's why I knew, and I saw it. I was like, oh yeah, at least, yeah.
Oh yeah, I definitely know this song. And
yes.
That's just my kind of jam.
Yes.
Like, all that stuff running, like, I don't know. I would play this song, this album at the same time that I was, again, like Enchantment, or like the Jackson self-titled album. Like I was, each one would put me in the mood for the next one of those.
Right.
You think it's funny you said a jazz guy. I was reading something about Tavares, and they opened for the Jackson 5, I guess on one tour or something like that. But do you think they would be bigger, like if they were on a Motown, or they were with Philly International, or back? What do you think? Like, because I mean, vocally, to me, I mean, this is my opinion. as far as brothers, you got Silvers, you got Jacksons. I don't think anybody's competing with them brother-wise on, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm missing somebody, but
No.
I mean, all of those, like you said, those three singing vocally are just.
I mean, you kind of had. I mean, folks at the same time. I mean, I don't think they was gonna have another boy, young male group on Motown. I don't
That's a
think
good point.
Barry would have did that.
That's a good point.
And then at that time, you had Silvers also, coming up in the game around the same time. So it was, I don't know. I guess all that to say, I don't know.
It's tough because it's like Motown. After the Jacksons came in the 70s, that was it. Like they were not. That was the focus. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of Motown artists suffered, except Marvin and Stevie, because everything was put behind the Jacksons. It was them. It was like, this is our moneymaker. This is what we're focusing on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But do I think with them going to Philly? Maybe, because technically they were a band. You know what I mean? So you had, a lot of the groups that was popping weren't bands. They were actually groups.
Yeah.
This group, they was a funk band. You know what I mean? So they could have, but again, then you had, they had their in-house band, MFSB. So it was like, are they gonna let them play the instruments? Like it's just,
that would have been. I didn't even think about it. Philly was groups, not bands.
Yeah.
And that would be. Yeah. I think it would inevitably be a creative clash with it being.
It would have been
eventually, maybe not to begin with, but I think it might have become that.
I mean, technically they were when they first started, because they were the Turnpikes, if I'm not mistaken, and they were funk because Benny from P-Funk was actually in their group at first.
Oh, wow.
Yes, he was in their group for a little while, and then he left, and then they became the Five. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then after then, they had the record Check It Out, which Check It Out is an R&B, and that's what really got them noticed. But then once they went and they threw out Heaven Must Be Sending an Angel and all that, and this is when disco 75, 76 is really starting to pop. Yeah. This is what they categorize them as, a disco band. You know what I mean? And then they was like, man, screw that. That's not us. But if you even check some of the album cuts on that, you know what I'm saying? Like on the album cuts on those albums with those songs, they were, but those wasn't pushed. So they kind of, the label do what they wanted to do with them, even though it was kind of gift and a curse, because we all know what happened with disco afterwards, but they try to get out of it early. They were like, okay, we got this. I'm going to get out this early. Yeah. And the label just didn't want with it. They was like, nope. Y'all sit up there and y'all, we put y'all disco. This is what we going to do. And
that's what we're going to do.
When it didn't happen, it was just like, oh, that's it. You know what I mean? And then once you leave a label, you go to RCA, at least said in 82, and they don't really know you like that. Capitol knew you very well, and you're going to 82. Now it's a whole new sound, the experimental sound. So a lot of instruments are not being used anymore. So it's just a whole different thing. I kind of feel bad for them because they're boxed in, because they did have an unsung.
Right.
And I feel like they are.
They are unsung. Yeah. Absolutely. That's true.
They are unsung because they are a lot more than what that was. You know what I mean? So,
And another thing, they had 10 albums on RCA. This was the 8th.
10.
So by then, it's about the young. So even if music hadn't changed, they weren't young anymore.
They weren't young anymore.
In the 80s, the most ageist decade that we had. Young was king,
That's true.
Facts.
That's true.
Damn, that was album number 8 shit. And mind you, that just goes to show you back then they brought out albums like this.
Oh yeah.
Like it was like every year. Shoot,
sometimes
they brought out 2 every 2 years. It's like 2 albums in 1 year.
No, they literally had an album every year. 97, 97 to 83, they had an album out every year.
77 to 83 every year.
74 to 83.
74 to 83. Wow, every year. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
See, and I was thinking, I thought back then they took a little bit more time. I was thinking, I think of that today with artists release and stuff like that. I mean, that's a lot of recording.
I don't know them 70s because like that. I mean, that's how Ozzy's was putting out records.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They were putting out
a gazillion records.
Yeah, they got.
I got like 50 Ozzy records, and that ain't even all of them.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, they record. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
they're working.
yes.
They're working.
And you know what?
Have y'all ever seen them? Have they ever got a video on like YouTube of them performing this live? I never even seen.
There is one.
Oh.
There is one of them. It's like in they're in Chile.
Oh.
They're in Chile, performing. But it's only 4 of them. So like you said, Pooch had passed away. So
yeah, and Ralph
had passed.
He passed in 21.
Yeah, Ralph that passed away. I think it was Ralph that passed away, actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're right. There's not a lot of live performances of them performing the song.
Yes. You can get all the other stuff. The big
you can find
that all day long.
All day long.
Yes, but this, I'm like, has anybody
But it goes to your
it?
point about how they were classified, I'm sure. So I'm sure they're like, you know what, you need to play your even touring wise, I'm sure. Yeah, people are like, now I want to hear this. I don't want to hear that, or so I'm sure.
I love how Elise, you said in one of our episodes, you was like, they're gonna get to your hits.
Yeah, I said, they're gonna get to your song, boo boo. Calm down. I promise you. They know they can't leave that building without doing most groups. At least 3 particular songs from that group, or the whole audience, including the deep cut fans, is gonna be mad you don't do.
Yeah.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
I ain't going
but you're right about that, because
concert not here. It never rains. I'll burn that motherfucker down.
Hello.
We said Tony?
Yeah, I was just
I was just saying,
Tony Braxton. They don't say, she don't say love should brought you home. I'm trash, y'all. I'm gonna do about $5 worth of damage. Like I ain't come to play with y'all.
Right.
No,
so I'm like, y'all, they gonna do, you know what I'm saying? It only takes a minute more than a woman having much. They gonna do that. If they got these album cuts, maybe you need to listen to them.
Maybe you need to listen to them.
You know what I'm saying? Like these are the gems that y'all are like really, really missing. And this is actually a single, but it was like, yo, don't worry, they gonna get to that. Maybe you might hear something that you like.
And to your point,
it was actual
harmonies. If they did them harmonies live, people, I would think people would
lose their mind.
Lose their mind.
Like to do that, and they said with this album too, it was a thing that they use. God, what was it? It was like a system or something that they used, and they were the first to use it. So you're really hearing their vocals for real. Like they were the first ones to use this particular equipment in the studio with this album here. So what you hear in their harmonies is really them and raw, and they were the first ones to use it. I forgot what the equipment is called, but I saw that when I was looking up the song, maybe because I was listening to this song maybe a couple of weeks ago, and I saw that and I was like, oh man, I was like, damn, like their harmonies are so intricate. It's like, oh, that's why I was like, I don't be wanting to hook the end. I'd be like, go back.
Go back. Even that live performance, like I said, I'll see if I can send it to you.
Okay.
They I mean, obviously they're older now, this is I think it was it might have been 2020 or 2019, something like that, the performance. And obviously they're not moving like they used to, but vocally they're still doing it. They're still doing it, so it sounds good.
And you know what? I for the long term, I'm happy for them that they had those, like, let's say it's always 3 songs you got to hear.
3 songs, yeah.
These 3 huge national hits to where they can, because they probably was in some bum ass fucking deal. So
as usual,
it. Yep.
If they want a bad deal, it was something else that's fucked up. Sure. So I'm glad they have the ability to still earn if they
I see what you're saying. Right? Yeah, absolutely.
Because you know how them 70s deals. Well, any year, shit. Yesterday, shit.
That part. that part. Hell yeah. The hell.
Real.
Badass deals. What?
Ooh,
Everybody give a thought, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
tell you, business that fools art, man. But it's
It
necessary.
does.
But anyway, I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole.
Yes.
I was gonna say, that's a whole
Just know that that's
other-
on my mind. You probably
Yeah,
go
'cause
back and
it'll
watch
take us.
any episode to get that read.
But you ain't never lie, because it'll take us somewhere.
All right, let me not do that to us.
No, please.
I'm trying to be easy like a Sunday morning.
Come on,
which it is.
I like how you did that. Catch that, y'all. Catch that.
Commodores.
Oh God.
Yeah. Well, bro, we thank you.
Thank
You
you.
picked such a pleasant song, and you picked the groove. I'm like, man.
Yeah, that's a Sunday group song to me too. Driving somewhere, just chilling out. Yeah, it's a good song.
Lay back joint.
Lay back, lay back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're all right with me, Kelv.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Really?
But any parting words, or if where people can find you, or anything cool you doing?
I'm working on something. I can't talk about it yet. I was the last time I was on, I was working on a podcast that kind of fell apart, but I'm working on something else and can't just divulge in it yet, but it's coming. But on Instagram you can find me at Big Kelv, on Twitter or whatever it's called, X, Kelvin Davis Sr.
Yeah, right.
Whatever it's called. Yeah. I still call it Twitter. It's still Twitter. Whatever. Yeah.
Yes, and we also thank you, the viewers out there, but we more affectionately like to call y'all our cousins, and bring us some old family over here. And just make sure to like and share and subscribe. Tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell a casual acquaintance. I don't care. Just tell somebody. And we will catch y'all. Let's catch that.
Peace, y'all.